Good morning, Janice.
Good morning.
So today we're going to do a little fun quiz, and the question is, do you need forced savings? All right. So whether you're disciplined with money, quote unquote disciplined with money, or if you're the kind of person where cash just seems to flow through your pocket, don't worry. As long as you know yourself, you can adjust your lifetime systems so that no matter either way, you can be successful with your savings. So first, we'll have a little bit of fun, and we'll do a little quiz to see how well we know ourselves and what our type is. Right? Are we somebody who needs forced savings? And then, for those of us who do qualify, we'll talk about some systems for folks who need help with that kind of forced savings without having to exert discipline or willpower. And then lastly, I'll add one last bonus tip about the one type of quote-unquote forced savings that you should probably avoid. All right?
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
I'm looking forward to this because I have my own opinion about what I need.
Okay, that's very cool. So,
yeah.
Well, first we'll start off with the quiz, and I'll quiz Janice here live.
Oh,
if you're all the listeners, please just follow along and pause or whatever as needed. But my only ask is that Janice and the listeners, you all be as honest as possible, as honest with yourself. It's not going to help you if you give the answer that you think sounds right. Yeah,
right,
it's
right.
tough. It's tough.
Well, yeah.
So don't try to sound smart because some of these are kind of clever questions, and don't try to sound right. Be honest. What's your gut answer? Because whatever, it's a quiz for you. You know, it's for your benefit.
It's for my benefit, but everyone's listening, so no pressure. Got it.
Yeah, why did I do this to you?
Sure,
anyway.
whatever, fine.
I'm torturing Janice. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah, love my
Okay,
job,
so the first part is a three-part quiz. First question. This is the classic marshmallow test, and I'll give it to you, Janice, and then I'll explain to the listeners what this is historically.
Okay.
All right. Do you like marshmallows, or is there another treat that is
I like marshmallows.
A soft spot for you? What's your?
No, that works. We'll go with that.
Why don't we go with Doritos?
Doritos, yes, Doritos are good. I'm an equal opportunity food, so you can pick anything. I'll eat it. Yeah.
All right, let's just stick with marshmallows then. Okay.
There you go.
I put a delicious marshmallow in front of you. Okay?
Okay.
And I say, all you need to do, you can have that right now, anytime you want. Help yourself. It's all yours.
Okay.
But if you wait 15 minutes, I'll give you a second marshmallow as well. Do you eat it or do you wait?
That's okay. I would honestly eat it only because I'd think, well, do I really need two marshmallows?
So
I would just be, I probably would have eaten it before you got to the question and statement of there's a second one
you
coming.
were saying?
I'm like, wait, what? Hold on.
Second marshmallow?
Oh boy, that one's gone. I mean, honestly, I have no
very good.
No willpower.
You're not alone. So this is a famous test at, I think, Stanford University a couple decades ago, where they did this to kids, right? They tested these kids, and I think it was about 60-40. 60% of the kids just ate it up or could not help themselves, and even on like the 9th minute or the 14th minute ate the marshmallow. But the kids who
I'm like
were
a
able,
toddler.
Actually, the point of the test was to show that the kids who demonstrated a better grasp of delayed gratification, meaning the ones who were able to wait later, had some kind of greater success in later life. But I'm not trying to rub that in or anything.
I'm not trying to rub it in. Shouldn't eat the marshmallow. I'm just saying.
But the point is, well more than half of the population would just eat the first marshmallow. So you're in good company.
Okay.
Okay. So that's known as the delayed gratification test or the marshmallow test. And we'll get into how you can adjust for that in the next section.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but now we're going to do the second test or the second quiz for whether or not you should be a forced saver. Janice, without giving, personal information or numbers, let's talk about your tax refund. Do you typically get a tax refund each year?
I used to. I do not anymore. At all.
Interesting.
Yes.
You don't get any tax refunds now?
Nothing.
You
mean like the refund at the end when they hand you the pretty check? And
correct. Yeah.
No. Nope. Because I'm self-employed.
Does that mean you do quarterly?
I do. But so the problem is, if it's a problem, is I do keep doing better each year, but I don't account for that because I don't realize how much better I'm doing. Ah. Does that make sense? So at the end of the year, whereas I am still going on the year before, and I tally everything up and you go, oh, I needed to pay a little bit more. So
when you did receive tax refunds, how did that feel to you?
Oh, it was fantastic. I loved it. We went, that was we'd go on vacation or buy a grill or, you feel pretty cool, like, oh, look at this.
Did you ever consider either you or your husband adjusting your withholding to reduce your tax refund, or was that something you thought about?
So we did. So of course this year we are making up for last year, or I guess, yeah, you know what I mean. And so this time we are saving more and paying more so we can get that refund at the end, which I know is just really a bank and that we're giving it to get it back, but that did feel good to get that check.
So the reason we ask is because tax refunds are basically a tax-free loan that you're making to the U.S. government. So you're really just getting back money that you loaned to the government with no interest. So it's actually a terrible deal. Sorry, terrible deal. But most people love it, and it is one of the most common examples of forced savings, right? It's almost like you're saving up your April vacation money through your tax withholding. So
and
if
you
that's
get it back,
something
and go on your vacation, right?
And then the last quiz. So the first test is a test of the marshmallow test was whether or not you are the type of folks who struggles with delayed gratification. The second test is whether or not you enjoy forced savings already through your tax refunds. And the last test is about, well, I'll just ask you, Janice, what would you rather have? $5 million right now in your hand, or a penny that doubles every day for a month? Please don't look at your calculator.
No. You know how I am with math. Now, I know that this question must lead to the penny's going to be better. But knee-jerk reaction, I'm going to go $5 million right now. Invest and do everything else. So that's knee-jerk. I'm just going to say $5 million. There you go.
So what is your rationale? That's interesting.
So my rationale is $5 million is, I know, you have taxes, everything else, but I'm thinking, okay, I know that I have just a little bit to pay off, and then I'm going to invest the rest. I mean, it wouldn't be a crazy spending spree. We'd get a new house, but we'd probably pay most of it off, and then we'd invest it for later on. Now, knowing that probably the penny's going to be better, but I don't look at it that way. I look at, okay, and go.
Interesting. Okay, very good. Well, the first level of consciousness answer is the penny might be better based on the power of compounding that you properly guessed. But the high level answer is, which month are we talking about?
Right.
Because the exact wording of my question was it doubles every day for a month. If we're talking about February, which is only 28 days, the result is $1.3 million.
Okay.
So you would have been better off taking the $5 million. If it's a 30-day month, which is about half the year, the result is $5.3 million. Hey, cool, you're better off then. Right. But if the month is a 31-day month and is doubling every day, $10.7 million. So there's a couple of months where you're doing better off. There's a couple of months where you're crushing it. And there's 1 month where you lost $4 million.
Right.
So the point of that is, yes, Janice, you and I'm sure most listeners got that. This is a compounding, a quiz to, do you understand the general concepts of compounding? And then the next level of awareness is, seriously, like it can, like even 1 year, or in this instance, 1 day, can make a huge difference.
Correct. And I have that, knee-jerk thinking, but on the flip side of that, I probably would have sat down with like a spreadsheet to determine before I had to make my answer which one was going to be better, because I would give it a lot more thought. But knee-jerk, I'd be like, hand me the money. Let's go. I got this. Yep.
First of all, please take a bow, and thank you for your honest answers.
Thank you.
So yeah, for anyone here who either ate the first marshmallow, who loves big tax refunds, or who didn't get to the Yoda level of thinking on the compounding question, you might benefit from some forced savings in your life. All right?
Definitely. Yep. I agree with that.
So we just have 3 tips of some pretty common types of forced savings that you can pretty easily build into your life, and then I'll get ahead to the one that you should avoid. All right, so forced saving option number 1, automate your investments. I don't think enough people do this, where instead of, let's take your IRA, for example. For most people, you have until the following April 15th to do your IRA contribution. And then it's like April 13th. Oh no, I need $5,000, or otherwise I lose my contribution.
Because that laying around, yeah.
Do I have that? So instead of putting yourself in that jam, I mean, it's the equivalent of saving $100 a week, right? So just have that auto deducted from your paycheck, or $200 every pay cycle, and just set it and forget it. Do you remember those commercials, those pasta makers?
Yep.
Just set it and forget it.
Yep. And that's a great way to think. It just happens. If it just happens, that's really great.
And you'll see that's kind of a recurring theme here. If you put it in, set it up in a way that it requires no willpower and no discipline, and it just happens, you're probably better
Perfect.
off.
Yep. That sounds great.
Next, I'm going to speed up a little bit here because it's starting to rain. So,
Gosh.
so next, get the right credit card. Instead of a cash back card, or get the kind of cash back card where instead of you getting points or straight up cash back, your cash back automatically gets contributed to a savings, or better yet, a brokerage account. In fact, Fidelity has an American Express card where you get 2% cash back on everything, and that 2% automatically goes into the index fund of your choice. And we've talked about index funds in the past.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, right? Every month.
You're going to
bing,
use
bang,
the
boom.
credit card anyway, so you might as well get something back from it. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, and points to me are a Byzantine, like just complicated scam. I mean, the fact that people spend their lives studying points is, but I mean, I'm sure they get benefit out of it, but the fact that that's how they're, using their time, like here lies John, he knew how to use points,
Yeah.
But anyway, again, that's a set it and forget it solution. You just swipe your card, do your grocery shoppings, gas, whatever, and every 2% of those purchases goes into your index fund, which is lovely.
Perfect.
And the last tip for forced savings, and this one is a real common one that it's like the old school forced savings.
Yeah.
Buy a home.
Guilty.
I mean, why guilty?
That we look at our home as our savings, our nest egg for later on. Right.
Because every month you're paying down your mortgage, you're building up your equity, and then you have this asset when the mortgage is paid off, you typically, right around a retirement age,
Right.
that is just chock full of equity, and the value has probably gone up over those 30 years or whatever many years.
Right.
I mean, I have pointed out in the past that buying a home is objectively one of the worst investments, just in terms of a dollar for dollar. But it's better than nothing. I mean, the number of people who will say they're going to invest in an index fund and then use that money to hang out or party, I'd rather you buy a home. If those are the two choices.
Right. If you're going to do something, just do something. Right.
Okay, finally, the bonus tip. The one type of forced savings that you should avoid, and I hate to say this because I have a lot of friends in the industry, is do not buy whole life insurance as your forced savings. Okay, life insurance should be term only. That's really the only type of life insurance 99% of people need. Whole life insurance is just, I'm not going to do a huge deep dive into it, but it's very expensive. It has very poor investment returns because it is technically an investment vehicle, and it's just hidden behind a lot of complexity, so you'll almost never realize how bad of a deal you're getting. Just avoid it. Just listen to me. You're better off adding whatever money you would have put into your whole life insurance. Take that amount and just add it to one of the things we talked about before, either auto investing or doing one of those cashback or credit cards that puts your cash back automatically into an investment. Okay.
Interesting. And I think I'd like to have a topic on that at some point with the whole life. Maybe just talk about that. That's an interesting. Yeah.
I will.
Why? Yeah.
Sure.
To be continued.
Very good. Thank you for bringing that up. Otherwise, that's all I have, Janice. And it's raining, drizzling, so I need to get out of here. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janice. Take care.
Talk soon.
Bye.